It's Friday, it's 2 o'clock. You're listening to Resonance 104.4 FM, Slow Small Peasants. Today's show is about codes under the radar, and we'll be exploring the veil of secrecy in communications and surveillance.
You're being watched. They know where you live, the value of your home, the names of your friends and family, even what you read. Where the data revolution meets national security, there's no place to hide.
We are not going to harm you. Everything will be all right.
As we go through our lives, we leave more and more, we're like comets in a way. We leave a long trail of data behind us. And most of us don't worry about it or think about it because it's become so routine and the information seems so banal because who cares about us, right? When you use your cell phone, you leave a record of when you made the call, who you called, how long you were on the phone, and where roughly you were at the time. The location of the cell phone is becoming more and more precise. So in some places it might be up to a mile. In some cities it might be a few blocks. But there's a general location. When you use your ATM card, you're leaving a record of obviously where you were, when you used it, the fact that it was you. There's often a video camera shot of you at that location. But more than that, the banks, as a result of the Patriot Act, have a legal mandate. They're required to watch that transaction. And so they're using artificial intelligence to check whether that's really you using it, to check whether you have ties to unsavory people, to look at the patterns of your financial activity to see if maybe you're trying to perpetuate sort of money laundering, if you have ties to terrorism finance. So if there are any suspicious signs at all, they're sending reports to a very little-known branch of the Treasury Department, which is creating a data mine of all those reports, and there are many, many of them now. And they share them with law enforcement across the country, local, state, and federal law enforcement, as well as the intelligence agencies. When you go to the grocery store and use the discount card, when you go through an automatic toll booth, when you call online to get a sweater or a pair of jeans, if you're have an adventurous marriage and you buy something fun, to use privately with your spouse or your mate, believe it or not, all that stuff is swept up somewhere, and more is available to these information companies to get to know you better, so to speak, or to share or resell. Now, the government doesn't really care about all of that, but it is routinely tapping billions of records about where you've lived in your entire adult life. I mean, I'm talking every house and apartment, all the phone numbers you've had, the cars you've owned. It can find links between you and me, for example. They can show, by looking into these billions of records, how we're related. If we know somebody who knew somebody that shared an apartment with, somebody we have in common. And they're using these systems.
This line is tapped, so I must be brief. They got to you first, but they've underestimated how important you are. If they knew what I know.
Is it really so hard to believe?
You have, in effect, the creation of private intelligence services that, in many ways, do what James Bond and his colleagues would have liked back in the 60s movies, that we're moving toward a scarlet letter society where you are branded for life for whatever you did when you were 19 and foolish.
RFIDs, radio frequency identification chips.
As we go about our lives, it won't be just cameras, which exist in far greater numbers than ever before, or the data, which exist in far greater numbers than ever before when we swipe our cards, use our credit card, and so on. It'll be these RFID readers that automatically record as we move about in the world.
Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast.
For it is a human number.
Its number is 666.
It all happened so slowly that most men fail to realize that anything had happened.
Is it really so hard to believe? What is real? How do you define real?
Shall we play a game? condition the world.
Is it really so hard to believe? This is the construct. It's our loading program.
They've got over 100 spy satellites looking down at us. That's classified.
Is it really so hard to believe?
Am I really here? Do I really exist?
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
As long as the Matrix exists, the human race will never be free.
The same scenes.
Is it really so hard to believe?
The same people.
Sometimes we'll never see what may be taking place.
Victims to vanity, like a spreading cancer. A distinctly human error.
Signal is stable. This frequency will continue to remain open.
Am I feeling I've been left behind? Feeling I've been left behind. Am I?
Mr. Popper, what is my policy on ringing phones in the classroom?
Well, nothing worth doing in life is easy. And I have great faith in you, son. I know you can do it.
Thanks, Dad.
The bioelectric, thermal and kinetic energies of the human body.
The once great human race.
Poor baby.
Race.
The clock's ticking.
All of this. You, me.
God.
Did you say something? Neo, I believe. Free my mind. Free my mind. Free my mind. Am I?
Well, he's in another world now. Make no mistake about that.
To convert is its choice to make.
It's their nature.
He cannot wake up. Do not let him wake up.
He's had a rough day.
I don't know, Dad. I don't know what to believe in anymore.
I knew he'd save me.
His vitals are good. He's gonna make it. It's unbelievable.
Simon Singh, author of the Code Book.
In the past, and even if you go back 20 or 30 years, the only people that had access to codes were the banks, the businesses, the military, the politicians. They were the only people that really had to send messages that were of any great importance. And so they were the only people that had access to the codes. So someone like GCHQ in Cheltenham is the government establishment that's responsible for encoding British messages and decoding the messages of our enemies. But now we live in the information age. We're sending information all the time, whether it's credit cards over the internet, whether we're receiving information via our set-top box, and our set-top box is having to decode that information. Emails, cell phones, we're sending information hither and thither, and some of that information is secretive, i.e. our credit card details, our phone conversations. So virtually everybody in a Western society is using encryption. We all have access to it, whether we realize it or not. I switch on my cell phone, I start talking, that message is being encrypted. If it weren't encrypted, anybody could just kind of intercept it through the airways and hear what I was saying. And that sort of really goes back to some of the embarrassing events regarding the royal family in the 90s, I suppose. To prevent that kind of thing, our cell phones are encrypted. To prevent our credit cards being snatched off the web, they're encrypted. It's done so automatically that it's almost invisible and we're really not aware of it, but our privacy is being protected all the time.
Phil Zimmerman, creator of PGP, Pretty Good Privacy.
People generally don't understand what technological threats to their privacy are. They don't know what they're opting in and out of. They don't read the fine print. They don't know what it means to leave your PC on 24/7 on your cable modem.
So, I mean, I'm aware that things like we can choose to securely send our email, and certainly if we're sending credit card details over the web, then normally that's encrypted for us. Is it the case, can we be sure that that stuff isn't being read by, for example, GCHQ? How do we know that?
Again, I think if we go back 50 years, the problem then was that, let's say the British military developed some secret code. Well, let's say, you develop a secret code and only the military people use it, and only the military people try and break their own code. And so those codes, although they seem very strong, they're never really tested to destruction because of their own secretive nature means that they're not really widely used. Whereas today, I can buy a bit of software, I can go down to my local electronics shop, I can download it off the web, I can buy some encryption software. That encryption software is commercially available. That means that anybody can access it. That means anybody can try and break it. The fact that nobody has broken it kind of makes it seem as though it's pretty secure. There are also very good mathematical reasons that it's secure. Indeed, mathematicians in universities try and break it. Cryptography university departments in India, in Israel, in America, in Brazil, they're all trying to break these codes, and none of them have the foggiest clue how to break them. And so when I download this bit of software from the internet and I send you an email, I can encrypt it, you can decrypt it, to the best of our knowledge, and that knowledge is pretty good. Nobody else can decipher that message. In fact, it seems that all the world's computers working for 1 billion years would not be able to decipher my email sent to you, and yet you could decipher it in a millisecond because you and I have got a kind of agreed recipe.
I guess I could say something about PGP and its significance in that before PGP there was no other software or any other method, actually, for people to communicate over long distances without the risk of interception. PGP made that possible for the first time in history. Other software that was designed for that purpose could be easily broken, at least by the major governments.
I was a communist for the FBI.
Comrade Matt. Comrade Matt. No, I like Comrade Matt better. Hard, tough, like you.
It's a tough world, Comrade Stephanie. No room for softness. The next few days were a growing fever of tension for me. The briefing was hard and thorough. I had little time to do anything but study, and this was complicated by constant invitations to study with Comrade Stephanie. And always hanging over my head was the threat of Conestoy's possible remembrance of seeing me with an FBI man. Finally, the last day of the week rolled round.
Tonight, comrades, you receive your assignments. You have been well trained. Now you will act on that training.
We will organize infiltration of schools?
That is correct. You, Comrade Svetic, receive a choice club. You know Bryson University?
Yes, small college not far north of here.
Though small, Bryson is a highly respected school, an example to many other colleges. You and Comrade Stephanie will see that the seeds of communism are planted there.
My only hope was the FBI surveillance. Conestoy and I were at his car when the FBI men moved in on the run, Ed Grayson leading. Conestoy opened the car door just as Grayson squeezed a shot over our head.
Down, man, down!
I hit the dirt in that precious second when Conestoy's attention was distracted by Grayson. Then Conestoy made his break.
Conestoy, down! All right, man, get it!
So can you explain, is it possible for you to explain in a way that we will be able to understand how this encryption happens?
Well, maybe I can explain it with reference to how an old-fashioned code would work, kind of a school kid code. When we're at school, I might represent A with a diamond, B with a star, C with a square, D with a rectangle, some kind of strange set of symbols representing the letters of the alphabet. And that's a nice schoolboy code, and I might use it and share it with my friends and send secret messages around the classroom when the teacher's not looking. Now, if the teacher gets hold of one of those messages, that teacher can probably decipher it, because some letters in English are more common than others. So, for example, in English, E is the most common letter. It accounts for 13% of all known letters. So therefore, the teacher looks at my coded message, says, look, there's a lot of zigzag symbols there. I reckon a zigzag represents E, and they'd probably be right. So by looking at the frequencies of my symbols, relating those to the frequencies of letters of the English alphabet, you can decipher this simple code. So then the next stage, if I want to make a better code, is to, sometimes I represent E with a zigzag, sometimes I represent E with a diamond, sometimes I represent E with a pair of parallel lines. So I change my representation of E with time. Straight away my code becomes much stronger. I can make it even stronger by substituting the letters for symbols and then rearranging the symbols in a different order. So there are two principles here. One is called substitution, replacing a letter with a symbol, and the other is transposition, moving the symbols around after I've done the substitution. And essentially by having more complicated sets of substitutions, more complicated sets of transpositions, by changing things regularly, by trying to do it according to a sort of random pattern, the more I do that, and computers are very good at randomizing, they're very good at substituting, they're very good at transposing. By doing that in a very complex way, the code breaker really doesn't have much chance of deciphering it.
After 9/11, a lot of us in the crypto community thought that there might be a government crackdown on the use of cryptography, either by reimposing export controls or imposing domestic controls in the U.S. But it didn't happen. Certainly a powerful reason is the momentum that's built up in the computer industry that depends on the ability to export strong crypto and to use it domestically. It would be enormously disruptive to try to change that. Enormous economic forces that have built up over the past few years in the computer industry, the software industry, and just the rest of the economy that depend on cryptography being freely available domestically and exportable to other countries. But other policies have been enacted by the government that don't relate to cryptography. The Patriot Act is full of things that are bad for privacy, bad for civil liberties, and is sort of beyond the reach of cryptographers to try to solve. We can protect email, but we can't protect citizens from pervasive surveillance technology.
Hey, everybody, gather round. It's the privacy song. I don't have no privacy, neither do you. The government is watching us, and Walmart's watching too. Your doctor keeps your urine for to clone your DNA. Those albums that you bought last night, well, now they know you're gay. Interpol has got a file on you, so does the FBI. McDonald's scans your face, and there's a chip in your French fry. You're scanned, recorded, sold, and sorted to a database in the sky. So whatever you do when they're talking to you, for God's sakes, lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie about your income, your age, gender, and race. Spell your name incorrectly, so it's harder to trace. We can beat them back with bullets, we can rub it in their face. We can stick a big gold monkey wrench right up their database. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. You see now, Walmart thinks I'm a 75-year-old pensioner, and Sony thinks I'm a single mother of 10. The airline company thinks I make 700 grand a year, and Visa thinks I'm an Inuit woman named Ben. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. You can lie to the man, you can lie right through.
Hi, okay, we should have on the phone with us now Helen John from Yorkshire CND. Can you hear me, Helen? Oh, hi. Okay. I just want to ask you first of all about Menwith Hill, which is a base in Yorkshire, and why you're campaigning against it.
Well, it's the largest spy base outside of the United States, and it's intercepting all the telecommunications in the Northern Hemisphere. And it's part of the surveillance system that sets up the whole programs for American warfighting. And eventually it will be part of the Star War program and actually helping to track missiles in space and guide them to their target. So it's a change of use of this base that worries me. But the Echelon system, where they spy on all commercial communications, carries on daily at this base, and America is the one who gains the advantage, which puts other people's jobs at risk.
What kind of information do they gather at the base?
Well, they intercept everything that goes through telephone, fax or emails. That goes up to a computer in the sky, to a satellite, and it's downloaded through the computers at Menwith Hill, and then they actually take from the intercepts material that is of assistance to the United States, and that's transported from the base via underground cable and then across the Atlantic, and it pops up in Fort Meade in Maryland, which is near the Pentagon, the White House and the Treasury.
And what agencies are there then? I mean, who then controls that information?
National Security Agency is the overall organisation that cooperates and works for this. But Menwith Hill has now become a military installation, and that was handed over about 3 years ago. Are you there? We've been cut off.
Oh dear, no, we're still there.
There?
Still there. So you were saying it's been handed over about 3 years ago?
Well, no, a bit longer than that actually. It was in 1996 that it was actually put under the control of the military, and it is part of the global strategy. These bases are right around the world, with Menwith Hill in the northern hemisphere and Pine Gap in the southern hemisphere. really putting a band of steel around the planet and intercepting all of the information. And their satellites, of course, are used to pick out the best land to buy so they can promote genetically modified crops. And the whole surveillance system from space would be fantastic if it was to warn people of disasters, but that's not what it's about. It's to actually help steal from the planet.
Okay. You mentioned as well that there's some link with Fylingdales, which is also...
Well, Fylingdales is 70 miles away, and that's where the X-band radar system is most likely to be connected to, and that will actually be focusing on having weapons in space, and the role that Fylingdales will have adopted that changes it, that if a weapon was in space travelling in this direction or any direction, the base at Fylingdales can actually instigate nuclear responses. So its role has changed significantly. Before, it would have passed the information to Colorado Springs at the Intercontinental Ballistic Missile Establishment, who would have made the decisions, but that can be taken at Fylingdales now, not on behalf of Britain or the European nation, but solely to protect the United States.
Okay, I'd like to ask a question about civil liberties and surveillance. I mean, they do go hand in hand, and obviously where there's been surveillance, there's always been a question of civil liberties. But how do these global networks of spy bases now amplify the issue of civil liberties, and what can we do to protect them?
Well, I think what the system is doing to protect them is that they are all now on red alert. You know, they have armed guards all around, and they are now very much closed-in military establishments. They built the high security fences under the pretext of terrorists attacking them, but of course the system that they're operating and what they're planning to do, as we've seen in Iraq, is go for preemptive strikes on countries where they want to take over the control of the people's lives and their resources. And so we are in the Star War, resource war era. It's happened. It's not something that's happening in the future. It's with us now.
And that's very much relevant to the war on terror. But in terms of the tracking and surveillance in our everyday lives, such as our emails, our faxes, our telephones, as you mentioned, how do we protect our telecommunications data from unwanted surveillance?
I don't know. I don't know how they choose their path, but what they're doing, you know, they are, as we see everywhere. We've got CCTV, we've got surveillance cameras on motorways. We can't move now. Essentially, we're in the Big Brother situation where everything we do, everything we say can be picked up, and we now have postal addresses, so everybody's pinpointed where they should be. And of course, if you want to dominate the planet from space, you have to put these measures in play to make sure that you can control the civilian populations, who increasingly, as they discover that these programs are not in their interest, will rise up and become really unhappy that they exist.
Okay, just one last question then, which is just I wonder if you could tell us a bit about how aware the local community is of what's going on in Menwith Hill, and also if you could just say maybe how people can find out more or get involved in campaigning against it.
Right, well, what is going on at this moment, there's expansion work going on at the base because they are preparing themselves more for the Star War period in a more professional manner. But people can find out more about it by getting in touch with, there's a very good American organisation called the Global Network Against Weapons and Nuclear Power in Space. And of course, through CND, they do have connections to websites that will put people in touch with the site that I've just mentioned, and will show you what is happening and give you a starter base that you can get more involved.
Okay, well, thanks.
We're having a demonstration at Menwith Hill the weekend of the 10th and 11th of December, and on Monday the 12th of December we will be blockading the main supply road.
Okay, well, thanks very much for joining us and for informing us about that.
Well, thank you very much for getting in touch.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Largest Signals Intelligence, and Analysis Network for Intercepting Electronic Communication.
Echelon.
Totuité Largest Signals Intelligence, and Analysis Network for Intercepting Electronic Communication.
Echelon. According to the Wikipedia, Echelon is thought to be the largest signals intelligence and analysis network for intercepting electronic communications in history. Run by the UK-USA community, Echelon can capture radio and satellite communications, telephone calls, faxes and emails nearly anywhere in the world, and includes computer-animated analysis and sorting of intercepts. Echelon is estimated to intercept up to 3 billion communications every day. The UK-USA constituent agencies are 1. Australia, Defence Signals Directorate, DSD. 2. Canada, Communications Security Establishment, CSE. 3. New Zealand, Government Communications Security Bureau, GCSB. 4. United Kingdom, Government Communications Headquarters, GCHQ. 5. United States National Security Agency, NSA.